Thank you, Linda, for that lovely introduction. When I can't comprehend why they're burning books or closing borders, when they can't bear to look at God's own nakedness, when they ban the film and got the seats to stop the play, and I ask why, they just smile and say, she must be from another country. When I speak on the phone and the vowel sounds are off, when the consonants are hard and they should be soft, they'll catch on at once, they'll pin it down, they'll explain it right away to their own satisfaction, they'll cluck their tongues and say, she must be from another country. When my mouth goes up instead of down, when I wear a tablecloth to go to town, when they suspect I'm black or think I'm gay, they won't be surprised. They'll purse their lips and say, she must be from another country. Maybe there is a country where all of us live, all of us freaks who aren't able to give our loyalty to lying fools, the crooks and thugs who wear the uniform that gives them the right to wave a flag, puff out their chests, put their feet on our necks, and break their own rules. But from where I am, it doesn't look like a country. It's more like the cracks that grow between borders behind their backs. That's where I live, and I'll be happy to say I never learned their customs. I don't remember their language or know their ways. I must be from another country. The guest. She ate alone for 9 days and found it pleasing, the frugality of it. On day 10, she put out the finest linen, 9 white plates, banks of glasses, rounds of cheese, mounds of figs, black grapes, blood oranges. She opened the window and invited you down to her table. You came, dressed as you always are for a night on the town, your fingers wrapped round the stem of a glass, egg moon, fish moon, moon of the sprouting grass, on your face the bloom of phlox. You made no conversation, but sat there together, the room breathing easy around you, unhooked from time. Then you left, the food untouched. Palimpsest. How to live again when all the finished words have been scraped off to leave the parchment clean. How to come back willing for new events to be scratched on old skin, to be reused in unforeseen languages, to be spread on a table under infrared, and inch by inch be studied, screened, stripped down to the subtext. Ultraviolet looks through the layers to the thing they mean, the last flake of ink embedded in a single thread, something holding on to nothing, speech holding on to silence, one mark holding on to the abyss, as if all life depended on it. And in the middle of lockdown, I remembered times when there was life in the streets and the cafes. I walked around the city a lot in the dark twilight city, and in the silence remembered these times. Medium. All life is out there, spending, spendthrift with its silver, like a drunk on moonshine. Across the coffee shop, baristas are calling out to one another in Malayalam. Coffee burbles in Spanish. The streets are a torrent of passing Italian. Windows fly open in Punjabi. Even songbirds are chirping in accents, valleys, Geordie, Bhojpuri. This upturned glass is mute, but wants to go screeching across the table, its mouth ravenous for word of you. The world is squandering its currency of languages. save one, speak to me. However, she buried the book under the peach tree, but it would not stay put. First, a scribbled shoot, then the stalks appeared and spelt out the name of their God in upright strokes that made it clear what she had hidden. It sprouted the telltale script of their language. The garden was humming with what she planted among the mint leaves that flavored her fingers and clung to her hands. Whatever she did, she has gone to learn a new script. The phone rings in a hollowed house, but whoever it is at the other end of the line gives up, and the ringing stops. The peaches drop with the sound of soft bodies. Whoever was taken was due to be processed. Whatever was said or implied, the lie was retracted, the question redirected. There is nothing to see here but a woman reading, nothing to hear but a finger moving on paper. No harm intended. However, it is true, the body is broken. However, the eyes are live. The tongue remembers the hint of cumin, peach juice splashed down the chin, the taste of a life before barbed womb, barred door, bared teeth in the jaws of power. However, the breath is butterfly. Back seat. He looks so young, his hands bony at the wheel. I wonder if he's been out all night, what he might have had for breakfast and what he eats when his shift ends, whether his mother makes him Punjabi samosas or Bengali mustard fish or Kerala rice. If he prefers the mangoes of the north like me or the sweeter ones from further south. Before I can stop them, the words fall out of my mouth. And where are you from? I mean, your people. They land somewhere on the back of his neck, slide into the rearview mirror, roll into his eyes. He looks back for 1 second, and his face is a passport, and his back is a flag. And he says, Barnsley, and I pay and get out. I grew up in Glasgow, and my father was always very proud of belonging to the place and knowing the local habits and customs, but he was especially proud of speaking the language like a local. I was very embarrassed about this. Chaudhri Sher Mobarik looks at the Loch. Light shakes out the dish rag sky and scatters the water with sequins. Look, hen, says my father, Loch Lomond, as if it were all his doing, as if he owned it. Laird of Lomond, laird of the language. He's proud to say hen, and even more Loch, with an och, not an och, to speak proper Glaswegian like a true-born Scot, and he makes the right sound at the back of the throat because he can say hush and khwab and khamosh, because the sounds for happy and dream are the words that swim in the water for him. So he says it again, hen, look, the Loch. I'll read this one called Taal, and Taal in Sanskrit is the beat in music, and it's used to keep time to dance. But also between the Taal, the beat, is the khali, the swipe of the hand, the sideways swipe of the hand that denotes silence. So this is Taal. To me, it felt a lot like a way of keeping time, looping time in a way so that what is lost is actually still there. This music, will not sit in straight lines. The notes refuse to perch on wires, but move in rhythm with the dancer, round the face of the clock, through the dandelion head of time. We feel blown free, but circle back to be in love, to touch and part and meet again, spun past the face of the moon, the precise underpinning of stars. The cycle begins with one and ends with one. Da, din, da, da, din, da. There must be other feet in step with us, an underbeat, a voice that keeps count, not yours or mine. This music is playing us. We are playing with time. Timelapse. Because he was looking like that, translucent, with Wednesday morning light pouring through him where he was standing next to the ready meals, she told him, always and forever. The trolley was taking the sunlight away, out of the supermarket, back to where the fruit grew, a place with sap in the trees and kingfishers swooping over water. By the frozen foods, he said he would go to the ends of the earth and walk over hot coals. She walked him down the fresh fish aisle, cod watching them with eyes that were expectant in spite of being dead. And at the reduced bin, he said, I do. And she said, I will. But at the till, when the girl said, will that be all? She took her icy heart out of the trolley, put it in a 10p plastic bag, him just standing there as if the light had left his body, went through the exit to the parking lot and never looked back. Ice was melting out of the freezers. Puddles crept along the floor and through the big glass door. I wonder if you've ever fallen in love with an app. Well, I did. And this is something called Flight Radar. It's a flight tracker, which I was absolutely obsessed with for a while. From the top of the Shard, the view unfolds down the Thames to the sea. The city laid by a trick of sight vertically in front of me. At London Bridge Station, trains slide in and out in a long, slow dance. It's not by chance that I'm here, not looking down, but up to where you are on Flight 199, coming in to land. I've learned to track you on my mobile phone. However far you go, I have the app that uses the radar to trace your path. There you are now, circling down around this spire where I stand, my face reflected over your pulse in the glass. You cannot see. You have no radar for me, no app to make you look back or down to where I'm lifting my hand. I will track your flight till it's a dot that turns and banks and falls out of sight, looking into the space where you were, fingers frozen on the tiny keys. I will stay where I am in the dying light, the screen still live in my palm. And I'll end with this one, The Trick. And in the middle of this poem is a dream, which I struggled for a long time to write. And it was only when I came to think about it in the sonnet form that the dream managed to find a place in the poem. The Trick. In a wasted time, it's only when I sleep that all my senses come awake. In the wake of you, let day not break. Let me keep the scent, the weight, the bright of you. Take the countless hours and count them all night through, till that time comes when you come to the door of dreams, carrying oranges that cast a glow up into your face. Greedy for more than the gift of seeing you, I lean in to taste the color, kiss it off your offered mouth. For this, I fall asleep in haste, willing to fall for the trick that tells the truth, that even your shade makes darkest absence bright, that shadows live wherever there is light.